In this video, we're going to look at a technique for multiplication known as Egyptian duplation. As you might guess, it was something that was used by the ancient Egyptians, and duplation tells us that it involved the process of doubling. There's going to be two columns, one where we double a number, and the other column where we keep track of how many of that number we have. Let's take a look at it. The problem we're going to look at is 22 times 9. And the way we're going to go about this is we're going to set up a chart where we have the number that we want to double, which is typically going to be the larger of the two numbers. So here, that's 22. And then the number we need to get to as we keep track of how many we have, which here is the 9. So I'm going to start out with 22. And over in the right-hand column, I keep track of how many 22s I have. Well, this is just one 22. Then I'm going to double that number. So if I double 22, I get 44. And then we're keeping track. How many 22s are in that number? Well, there are two 22s in that number. Then I think, okay, I'm trying to get to 9 22s altogether. How many do I have so far? I have 1, 2, 3 so far. That's not enough, so I need to keep going. So I'm going to double 44. And when I double 44, I get 88. How many 22s are in 88? Well, there would be 4 22s in 88. I'm using that right-hand column to keep track. How many 22s do I have? Now I look, how many 22s do I have altogether? Well, I've got 4 here, and I've got 2 here, and I've got 1 here. So I have 7 altogether. I need to have 9. That's still not enough. So I need to double the 88, and I'll have 176. How many 22s are in 176? Well, off the top of my head, I'm not sure of that, but as the left-hand column is doubling as I move down, the right-hand column is also doubling as I move down. I went from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, so this is going to be 8. Here again, I'm trying to get to 9 22s. How many 22s do I have on my board? Well, I've got 8 and 4 is 12, 13, 14. I have 15. So I definitely have 9 in there somewhere. So I look and I say, how do I get to 9 22s? Well, to get to 9 22s, I need to count these 8 and that 1. And so these 8 22s combined with this 1 22 will make 9 22s. So what I need to do is add those together. I've got these 8 22s added to this 1 22, and I add those together and I get 198. And so 22 times 9, sure enough, is 198. One of the things that I want to point out here is, keep in mind the Egyptians didn't use Hindu Arabic numerals the way that we do. What theirs would have looked like would have been 22, and then using their number system, this is really easy to double. I used to have 2 of those 10s, now I need to have 4 of them. And I used to have 2 1s, now I need to have 4 of them. So I doubled it. And then I need to double again. Well, I used to have 4 of 10s, now I need 8 of them. And I used to have 4 1s, now I need 8 of those. And so this system worked really well for the Egyptians because it was just doubling the number of symbols that they had. One last thing that's really important that I want you to see here is that really this is a use of the distributive property. What we started out with was, I want to do 22 times 9. What it turned out to be was, I'm going to do 22 times 8 plus 22 times 1, which the distributive property tells us will be 22 times 8 plus 1. Notice what we've got here is 22 times 8, 22 times 1, and that's exactly what we were doing in our problem. The Egyptians were really kind of using the distributive property when they did Egyptian duplation.